to our channel. In this video, we are going to learn about the nerves of upper limb. The nerves of upper limb are arising from the brachial plexus, and the brachial plexus is arising from the spinal cord. First of all, we are going to see about how this brachial plexus is formed and how a nerve is arising from the spinal cord. So for that, this is the spinal cord. The region on the front side is called as anterior horn, and the region on the back side is called as posterior horn. On either side there are two anterior horns and two posterior horns. Right side anterior horn, left side anterior horn, and right side posterior horn, left side posterior horn. The connection arising from the anterior horn is called as anterior root, and the connection arising from the posterior root is called as posterior horn is called as posterior root. So the two anterior and posterior roots unite together to form the spinal nerve. So the anterior root from the anterior horn and the posterior root from the posterior horn joins together to form the spinal nerve. This spinal nerve again divides into two divisions. The division on the anterior side is called as anterior rami of spinal nerve, and the division on the posterior side is called as posterior rami of spinal nerve. So this is how nerves are arising from the spinal cord. So what is brachial plexus and how it is formed? Brachial plexus is the continuation of spinal nerves from the region of C5 to T1 spinal cord. It is the continuation of only the anterior rami of spinal nerve. The posterior rami of spinal nerve supplies the posterior side of our body. So the anterior rami of spinal nerves from the region of C5 to T1 spinal cord forms the brachial plexus. Coming to the brachial plexus is having five parts. The first one is a root, and the second one is trunk, the third one is division, the fourth one is cord, and the fifth one is branches. So here the anterior rami of our spinal nerves is called as brachial plexus root. It is called as the root of brachial plexus. So here we can see that the root from the C5 and C6 are joining together to form the upper trunk. There are three trunks: upper, middle and lower. In that, the root from the C5 and C6 are joining together to form the upper trunk. And the root C7 is alone forming the middle trunk. And the root from the C8 and T1 joins together to form the lower trunk. So there are three trunks and they are the continuation of root. And again these trunks are descending downwards as divisions. Each trunk is dividing into two divisions. The one is anterior division and the another one is posterior division. So upper trunk is dividing into two divisions. Here is the anterior division of upper trunk and this is the posterior division of upper trunk. Middle trunk is again dividing into anterior division and posterior division. Lower trunk is dividing into anterior division and posterior division. So here we can see a brown colored arrow mark. This is the easy way to remember the posterior divisions. So the three lines that are forming the arrow mark are posterior divisions and the other lines are the anterior divisions. There are totally 6 divisions. Each trunk divides into two divisions. There are 3 trunks. So we have 6 divisions. These divisions continuous downward as cords. So there are 3 cords. The one is lateral cord, posterior cord and medial cord. Lateral cord is the continuation of anterior division of upper trunk and the anterior division of middle trunk. The anterior division of upper trunk and the anterior division of middle trunk joins together and forms the lateral cord. And all the posterior divisions joins together to form the posterior cord. And the anterior division of lower trunk forms the medial cord. So these three cords are dividing into 5 branches, and the 5 branches are the main nerves that are supplying our upper limb. So here the lateral cord is dividing into 2 divisions. The one is musculocutaneous nerve and the another one is median nerve. And the posterior cord is dividing into 2 branches. The one is axillary nerve and the another one is radial nerve. The medial cord is dividing into 2 branches. The one is supplying the median nerve and the another one is ulnar nerve. Coming to the medial nerve, it is having connections with both lateral cord and medial cord. So both the lateral cord and medial cord contributes to form the median nerve. So the connection of median nerve with the lateral cord is called as lateral root of median nerve, and the connection of median nerve with the medial cord is called as medial root of median nerve. So these are the 5 important branches of brachial plexus, and these are the 5 important nerves of upper limb. And here this is how brachial plexus is arranged in our body. This is the cervical region and this is the thorax region. So this is the cervical lower cervical vertebra and this is the thoracic vertebra. So here arises the brachial plexus and it passes below the clavicle, and at the lower part of maxillum it is giving off its branches, and those branches are supplying our upper limb. So in the next video, I'll be telling about the details of these 5 nerves, like its cores and branches and how it is supplying our upper limb. So that's all for this video. Thank you.